Hey guys, this is Guy here with KBTrainings. Welcome to this new live. Today, Sunday, September 8th, 2024. I'm live again to talk about some of the things that I bring you always on KBTrainings. I'm here to share with you what I know and what I'm still learning in the field. My name is Guy Bisoku. If you see me for the first time, make sure you follow me on Instagram and Facebook because I share a lot of behind the scenes there as well. And if you want to know more on what I'm doing, visit my website, en.kbtrainings.com. One of my main training that I have available right now is the Cisco CCNA 200-301, which is a certification that will help you start to boost your career, just like it did with mine. And I work in the field of cybersecurity. And yeah, it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for those of you that are live. Let me take a look at YouTube. Yep, we are live. We have a couple people that are already connected. We also have some people on Facebook as well. All right, so today I'm answering to a question that I've always received by email or some phone calls that I've held with some of you. Most of you are asking me what to do next. Let's say you're taking a course right now, you're taking a video course on the CCNA 200-301. You want to boost your career. Uh-oh. Feel like something is off. No, sorry, never mind. I'm watching on the screen here. I thought my video was not showing on your end. Let me just make sure it's all good. Leave a comment in the chat if you can hear me and see me well. All right. So the question is, what do you have to do beyond the CCNA? What do you have to practice, or how can you practice to make sure you understand what you're studying? Because to me, I think getting certified is not just about reading a bunch of books and then, go take the exam without even understanding exactly or practically what you're supposed to know as an engineer. To me, I think you should start somewhere. Of course, somebody shows you the way, or you follow the Cisco exam blueprint or any other certification, by the way. What I'm telling you today can apply to the Cisco CCNA 200-301, to the CCNP exam, or if you're going for the Fortinet certification exams like the FCP, FCA, and all of those, even for the Palo Alto field. If you are studying, you need to make sure that you don't only read and trying to memorize, you also practice. And that's where I'm going to intervene today and tell you the three main things that can help you practice and know more of what you're trying to learn. The first thing will be to play in your home network. If you have a chance to have a home network that you control, that will be your first enterprise. You can treat your home network as an enterprise, just like I do here. I created a bunch of videos where I showed you how I installed my home network, all the devices, all the cabling and everything. I have a whole playlist that I'm going to link in the comment where I showed you my home network from the beginning to the end, from the cabling to the installation of firewalls, access points, cameras, and everything. That's me trying to learn, applying it on my home networks, using my home network as a tool to be able to know more. The second thing we're going to talk about is how to build your physical lab. You don't have to have a big lab. You don't have to have a big rack like I do have here. I'm going to give you some recommendations of some few devices you can buy to make sure that you practice at least and you have your hands on those devices and they can help you advance your career. The third thing is the virtual labs that you can build. Many ways to build virtual labs today. You can use hypervisors like ESXi. You can use emulators like GNS3 or EvenG. All of that will be covered today with some tips and tricks to help you advance in that regard. Thank you to Emmanuel. Bonjour in French. I also have a French channel on KBTrainings en français where I do the same thing in French as well. So if you want to get the same content in French, go check out my French channel. Hello, Kane, as well. Yes, thank you for joining us. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is your home network. How would you treat your home network? Treat your home network, just like I said, as a small lab. And how do you do that? First of all, if you are in the US, I know that in general in the US, when you get your internet service from your ISP, they'll give you something like this. This is my CenturyLink modem that I was given when I bought service from them. I do have fiber at 1 gigabit per second with CenturyLink, and this is their modem that is also receiving SFP plus here, so I can do 1 gig fiber all the way to this device. At the same time, it's also a small switch because you can see these 4 ports here, and it's also an access point. So it's an all-in-one, like 4-in-1, 4 devices in a single device. What you have to do as an engineer or future engineer is get rid of this thing here. And actually, you're going to save money because if you look at your bill, most of the time, you're paying about 15 or 20 bucks every month for the device that is given to you by the ISP. As an engineer, you should do something like this. Let me show you my home network. This is a design I've shared with you in the past. This is my my full design of my home network at some point in the past. Right now, some things changed. I do have, one second. I have some devices that have been changed, and it changes all the time. Like at this point, I do have, oh, my pen doesn't work. Give me a second. Just want to make sure I can write on the screen. Okay. All right. Okay, so as you can see here, I have an ONT, which is the terminal device where ONT actually means optical network terminal. I think so. So, all right, this is the ONT where fiber is dropped. It's right outside of my home. And then there is an Ethernet cable going inside of my home network. So if I didn't use this design, I would have had a device like this connected directly to the ONT, which means that this device would have been here, being at the same time my router or my firewall, like a small firewall. It does a little bit of security, but not much. My router, my switch, my access point, and my modem at the same time. And this 4-in-1 architecture works for any regular house out there. If you don't work in tech, you don't know how to play with this, that's fine. But if you are trying to become good at networking, if you want to trying to become good at security, cybersecurity, all those tech field, you should treat your house like an enterprise. So you should get rid of this. Make sure that you get some dedicated security appliance like I did here in the past. This is the UDM. This is the UDM SE. It's my security appliance. Connected to that, I had the USW24 PoE, and I also had some access point. So this is just to teach myself how to manipulate all these different devices, how to design an enterprise network and make it work as it should be in an environment where, like in an enterprise environment. And this is my home network. It can break, it can go down. Nobody's gonna be there to judge me or pressure me or anything. So it's a free environment where I can really practice. So I would recommend you to go ahead and replace the ISP's device with your own. And depending on the medium that you have, that's where you need to analyze your own network, and make your own research to see exactly what you are being given. In my case, my main connection, just like I said, it's Wi-Fi. It's fiber. My second connection is fiber. It's cable. It's coax cable with Comcast, Xfinity. So if you have Comcast, you can get your own modem instead of using the X-Fi or whatever device they give you by Comcast. Get rid of that one. Go on Amazon. I'm going to show you how to do it right now in a moment. Go on Amazon, find your own modem, replace it or install it, and connect the security appliance, either a Cisco router or even a Fortinet router or Fortinet firewall or FortiGate. You can get some of those online on eBay. I'm going to show you that in a moment. And you can buy a license if you can, but you can also use it without a license because as a home, not really an enterprise, you don't need most of those security features and and tools that comes with the firewall. So you can definitely use a firewall. I used it from literally 2018 all the way to probably 2022 before I switched to the UDMSE without a license, and it worked just fine. I'm going to show you how to do that. And when you have a firewall or a security appliance of your own that you are using on your home network, then you can go ahead and attach some switches. You can get some 40 switches, you can get some Cisco switches or any other type of switch and get access point as well. Right now, the very easy solution that I usually recommend is Ubiquiti. Ubiquiti sells devices that are affordable, and you don't need licenses to use them in your home network. That's what I used in the past for a while, and it works fine for a home network. It's going to teach you a little bit of management or network administration. You're going to configure your own DHCP, separate your network in multiple VLANs. Make sure you do what is actually done in enterprise. And Ubiquiti is now going after or has been for enterprise, but they are releasing some beefy firewalls and security appliances as well. So it's a good tool for home network if you don't want to spend much. That is the first thing. Make sure you get rid of your ISP's devices. Make sure you bring some switches, some APs in your home network. It's going to help you build those skills and know how to deal with hardware. And that's something you should leverage your home network for. If you live in an environment where you cannot customize your home network, or maybe you live at somebody else's house, you don't have the right to change things in there, I'm going to talk about other options that you can use to be able to practice and learn more while you are studying for your CCNA or your NSC4 or any other exam that you're trying to take. That was first. The second thing I would recommend is to build some physical devices. Oh, before going there, let me show you on eBay how you can buy some of those devices. Let's see, I'm looking for, usually I can go on Amazon. Let's see, I'm looking for an Xfinity compatible modem, because there are many ways to get internet, just like I mentioned in some of my previous videos. You can have it with fiber, so you need to make sure that you have a device that has a fiber interface or SFP interface like this one I have here. But if you want to buy your own, make sure it has that. Or the fiber can terminate on an ONT, and then you can use an Ethernet cable to bring it to whatever device you have. In my case, it transforms into PPPoE. I made a video in the past showing you the installation of my 1 gig connection, so you can go there to get a little more details. But when you get that, you connect it to your main firewall, and that's it. So if you get your internet through DOCSIS, for example, if you use Xfinity or Spectrum or Cox, you need to use a modem like the one I'm going to show you. In this case, I'm doing a quick research for an Xfinity compatible modem. And this is what I have, for example. So this, it clearly says that it works for Comcast, Xfinity. It works with Cox, Charter, or Spectrum, and many more. So this is a good candidate. And it might look expensive, but if you look at in long term, all the money you could have paid, you would have paid to the ISP to rent their modem or the devices, you're going to save way more when you use your own. We have a lot of options here, but this one would be a good one already. And I do have it right here. This is one of my old ones. I do have another one that's running right now on my actual Comcast network. So this is what it is, and it should work. You can even move it from a network to another. You might have to call your ISP to get it registered or something, but just deal with that. It's going to be okay. So when you get this, then beyond that, you need to install either a router or a security appliance or a firewall. In my case, back in 2014, when I stopped using the ISP's devices, I started using a NetGear. I think I had a NetGear Nighthawk. It was something like this. Not necessarily. Mine was like $500 back then. But it was a beautiful device, powerful Wi-Fi antennas, and it also had 10 gig SFP plus, so I could connect my lab at higher speed. Let me look for 10 gig. I don't see it right now, but it was something that I was using back then. But you can use that, or like in my case, some of my first videos on this channel back in 2018 or 2019, I was showing you how I was replacing my NetGear with a FortiGate. That was my very first FortiGate configuration on this channel. And I did that because I wanted to have more control on my network, more control on my traffic. I want to have detailed logs of what's going on in my home network. That's why I switched to a FortiGate. Back then, I bought a used FortiGate online. We can go on eBay right now. I can look for, let's just say FortiGate without specifying the model. Let's see what we have. This is a 60E or Forti Wi-Fi 60E. It comes with Wi-Fi as well. You can get it for $85, which is not bad. This is a very big one for like data center. This is a 1500D. Let's go for something smaller, like small and old, because it's a home network. You don't really need much. 300D. Okay, this is it's a beefy one too, but I don't know if you need it for your home. It might be a little too big. Let's go for something small. 70D. Yes, this is a 70D at $20. This is a very good deal for your home network. Like I said, you can buy a license if you can, but you don't have to. I've made videos on this channel for a while where I've been using my FortiGate ADD, my very first FortiGate in my home network without a license on it. This is for your own lab. This is for you to study, but just make sure you set up all the rules correctly so that nobody will have access to your internal network and you'll be fine. If you don't want to go with that, you can go with a Cisco router. Let me see what kind of Cisco router we can get on eBay. The ASR 1001, yeah, it might be a little too much, but I think you can do it for your home network. Yeah, I don't think this is worth it. For Cisco, I've never really used a small Cisco for my home network, but I do have some in my lab. I do have a 2800 in my lab right now. And you can even get this for the home network. It's going to work. It's a router. You just need to make sure you have enough access control configured so that nobody comes from the outside and gets into your network. But this is mostly for your lab that we're going to talk about later on. So for your home network, I recommend Ubiquiti, or you can go with a FortiGate and you will be fine. For switching as well, you can either use Ubiquiti switches, or you can use even a Cisco Catalyst switch will be good for your home network. And if you want to do access point as well, make sure the switch that you're going to use has PoE capability, so you'll be able to tune on your access point using your switch. Those are the few recommendations I can give you about changing your home network so that it becomes your first lab. It becomes your own enterprise where you do a bunch of things in there on your own freely without any problem. So the second option is to build your small lab. That's something I started doing way early in my career. I started having my own lab where I have some devices, some switches, some routers, some access point, just to practice, not as part of my home network, even though your home network is your lab, but you can add some extra devices just to play with. And for the CCNA specifically, I recommend you to have at least 2 switches and 1 router. Because if you have 2 switches and 1 router, you can build a bunch of topologies. Like, let's see, just like I said, you can have 2 switches. And I prefer usually to use Catalyst switches for Cisco and 1 router. If you have that, you can build topologies like this. You can build a small network with your router, probably connected to your home network. And inside, you can connect the 2 switches to the router. And you can practice features like Ether channel between the switches. You can practice high availability with HSRP on the Cisco world with the 2 switches. You can connect a device here, a device there. You can configure VLANs, VTP, all the things, dynamic DTP. All of that can be practiced using this kind of design. And if you can have more than one router, you can even build a small network with another router over here, and then bring one of the two switches over here to connect it. And here in the middle, you can practice a lot of things. You can do GRE, DMVPN, all kind of features that you want to learn. And you do it in your own lab. You do it physically with devices that you can touch, that you can manipulate. You need to buy cables. You need to buy all of that. It's going to teach you a lot. You're going to remove you're going to build confidence in handling hardware. And it's something that I recommend for any good engineer. If you want to be serious in this field, if you want to go far in your career, make sure you have at least few equipment. And just like I said, you don't need to have a huge rack like I do have behind me here. You can only have these three devices sitting on your desk, few cables to connect them, a console cable to be able to SSH or Telnet, to console into the devices. That's all you need. And I've made a bunch of videos showing you how to SSH if you have IP connectivity, or how to connect to it, to connect to the CLI using a console cable. That is very recommended. Beyond all the videos you're watching, beyond everything you're doing on the side, make sure you practice. Because if you're an engineer and you take care of somebody in the field, for example, you need to have an idea on how to guide them, how to make them do their job in the best way possible. And if you want to know more, let's say I'm dealing with a technician that is on site, for example, and they're working with a device like a FortiGate 400D, for example. I need you to go online and look for FortiGate. Let's see, FortiGate 400D data sheet. So when you open the data sheet, you're going to see the details about the device, and you have also the form factor here. You have a form factor. You see exactly what the device looks like, and you can easily guide the person you're talking to on how to connect the cables or what you want them to do and all of that. It becomes very easy for you if you've been exposed to hardware and you understand all these different ports, the speed and everything. So doing your own labs is really important for you to advance in this field and to build that confidence to be able to assist and work without any problem. So that was the second thing I want to mention. Build your own lab. And let's go on eBay. I'm going to show you how you can get, I don't know why this browser is closing itself. So let's say I'm looking for some Cisco Catalyst. I can probably let's go with an old model like the 2960. Should be very expensive. I mean, very cheap right now. Yeah, still kind of. This one is a $47. This is $29. This is a good candidate for your lab. And assuming that you might have close to the latest firmware release, you'll have a lot of features that you need, at least for the CCNA. So depending on your budget, this is a good switch. You can buy two of these. Me, back then, I had a chance to find on Craigslist, I found a guy who sold me 5 Cisco switches for $50. It was a very good deal. I still have some of them here. I also gave away some others. So you can find them on Craigslist. I don't know if it still exists, but Facebook Market is a good place to go if you want to buy used devices. I just bought a Cisco Meraki on Facebook Market for my own lab, and it's a good place to go. If you are in Canada, Kijiji, I think that's the name of the website where you can do like a peer-to-peer sales, and they can sell you a used device without any problem. So make sure you try your best to find something to put your hands on an actual device, and you'll be practicing with it, and that's a good deal. If you want to go for a Cisco router, I can go for something like a 2800, like I do have here. I have it right behind me. You can't see it from here, but I have a Cisco Router 2800. It looks like this. Yeah, it looks like this. You can see 2800 here, and in the back you have these two ports or two interfaces, one for the WAN side and the other one for the LAN side. You can also add cards here if you need more ports, or if you need to add like a voice card or something like that, you can do it here. This is a $64. If you take your time to look, you can find some best deals with the price that are cheaper than this, and that will be good for your CCNA lab to practice with. So the third option I want to mention is virtualization, emulation, and simulations. The first tool for simulation is Packet Tracer. Of course, you're studying for the CCNA, Packet Tracer is a tool to have. If you're studying for FortiGate, Fortinet, FCP, for example, I would recommend you to have at least GNS3. GNS3 is a good tool on top of Packet Tracer because it goes beyond what you get with Packet Tracer. For example, and if you have any questions, put them in the chat. In a moment, I'm going to read all the questions you have here and be able to answer. So let's see. The first thing I want to recommend for simulation is Packet Tracer. Packet Tracer. My handwriting is horrible today. So Packet Tracer is good for Cisco, is good for student. If you are a Network Academy student, and Packet Tracer is actually free, you can buy Packet Tracer or get it or download it from the Network Academy website, and it only does Cisco. You get routers, firewalls, access points, switches, and even endpoint built in the simulator. It's fine. Make sure you use it as much as you can. If you don't have any best option, make sure you understand how the packet moves between the different endpoints in your topology. And in my course, the CCNA 200-301 course that I give on, or that I teach on KBTrainings.com, some of our labs are done using Packet Tracer. Wait, why doesn't it come up? Anyway, forget about it. All right, so some of my labs are made with Packet Tracer, and I also use GNS3. So Packet Tracer is good, but you can also use GNS3. GNS3 is good because this is professional. A lot of pros use GNS3, and it's also vendor agnostic. You can use Fortinet, Cisco, Palo Alto, Checkpoint. You can create Linux VMs. You can do a bunch of things with GNS3, and it's a good option if you are studying. And for GNS3, you can have it entirely on your PC. By PC, I mean desktop or laptop. For my recommendation, I usually recommend to have at least 16 gigabytes of memory in your computer. If you can do 32 or 64. I do have 64 on my notebook, on my laptop, but 16 is the least I can recommend. 8 gigabyte can still work, but it's good. It can be painful sometimes. For CPU, you can have anything above 1.6 gigahertz. If you have a dual core, you'll have 1.6 times 2, and that's fine. So that's what I recommend for the GNS3 on your computer. But also, you have the option to have only the client on your computer, on your desktop, and put the server on a VM. And I'm going to show you how to create some VMs for GNS3. You can use hypervisors like ESXi. You can use VirtualBox. You can use VMware Workstation, or all those hypervisors out there. Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, I deleted everything. Okay, so I was talking about GNS3. And first option on your PC, second option, client on PC, and server on another hardware. All right. You can also use EvenG. This is another tool. I think I made a video on how to configure EvenG or install and use EvenG, but it's been a while. I can probably create a new video. This is also another tool where you install it on a server and you can connect to it using your web browser and do all kind of practice. These are emulators that you can implement. But also the third option is a hypervisor. A hypervisor like VMware ESXi, which is probably going to go away. I don't know much about it. You can use Proxmox. You can use Hyper-V. You can use Citrix. You can use any other hypervisor. And if you want to use a hypervisor directly on your computer, or if you want to use a desktop virtualization software, I recommend VMware Workstation or VirtualBox. This is from Oracle, I think. So you have options to practice. And all of this, the reason is to get your hands on actual devices or actual firmware, and you can build topologies. You don't only have to watch videos, you also have to practice. You also have to go deep into things and make sure you understand what you're studying. And if you do that, even when you go to take the exam, it's going to be much easier for you. It's going to be understood, and you won't have any hard time getting your exam. That was my whole message for today. For those people that are studying, they want to do more. They want to be at their best studying for a certain certification. Make sure you use your home network if you can. Make sure you have some physical lab. Make sure you have some virtual lab. Physical lab is important to remove that the stress that you have dealing with hardware, to know how to deal with hardware and cabling and all of that. And virtual lab will bring you way more possibilities. You can create a bunch of topologies. I actually have a topology right now that I can show you. This one was created. Let me see, is it on? No, it's off. Give me a second. I created this a while ago when I was working on my SD1 lab. And actually, this is going to be part of our future or next lab where, okay, my computer is frozen right now. Sorry. Yeah, I might not be able to show you that for some reasons. I probably have to reboot this. But I was trying to show you my SD1 topology that I built on ESXi. Really good, really helpful when it comes to practicing SD1 rules and all kind of stuff. It's going to be part of our next live on this channel. So if you like what I'm doing, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're working in the field of IT or technology or cybersecurity or security. Also, make sure you follow me on Facebook and Instagram. That's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching. My name is Guy, and I will see you in the next video. Apparently, I can't even get back to the screen where I can cut this live. I have some comments here. Sydney from Chicago. Hi, Sydney. How you doing? Let me go on Facebook and check. Apparently, I can't even go on Facebook. This is ridiculous. So I think I need to restart my my computer at this point because it doesn't seem to work. I probably have to shut down some few applications here. All right, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and bye. Assuming I'm going to cut this because nothing is working right now. Okay, so it doesn't work there. Maybe I should get on this other MacBook and cut it from there. All right. So I need to shut down my live. Let me see if YouTube gives me that option. Yeah, it's been acting up since my French live earlier today, but I didn't get the possibility to reboot my computer before this one here. All right, I think I have access to the YouTube one. I can now just stop it from here. All right. And then I'm gonna go on Facebook.